evening, everybody. I'm Trevor. My name is Trevor. I'm a board member for the North Palm Youth Symphony, and I'm here to introduce Victor Fernandez, the director of the symphony, and welcome you all tonight to a great evening of music. Everybody welcome Victor Fernandez.
Thank you, Trevor. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. How are we doing tonight?
Great.
I really don't need this, but I'm going to use it anyways. You know, it's more official if I do it, right? So, my name is Victor Fernandez, and I'd like to welcome you to the beautiful North Palm Beach Country Club Ballroom. This is our our second actually, of 3 concerts that this group is playing. It will be the culmination of our 4th year in operation. Our program currently serves over 110 students across 6 orchestras. The children come from public, private, and homeschool settings, and most do not have access to orchestras in their schools. As a 501c3 nonprofit organization, we meet a critical need for string education because out of 71 middles and high schools in Palm Beach County, fewer than 5 have string programs. Without this organization, these students would never be able to play in an orchestra because it doesn't exist in their schools. The North Palm Youth Symphony is the place where they learn to become competent orchestral musicians, develop as young artists, and exercise their passion for music making. We grow artists, make lifelong friendships, impact our community through outreach, mentor the young, and develop our future leaders and innovators sitting in this room tonight. The work is important, it is a calling, it is much needed for our youth, and it is important work. Tomorrow night, like I said, they will be performing at the Benjamin High School, officially ending our semester. Before we begin, please disable all portable electronic devices and set them to silent. And also please avoid flash photography as it is distracting to our players. So with that being said, I would like for you to sit back and enjoy a wonderful evening of a very varied program of classical and romantic music. And please, to read our very first introduction, please help me welcome Solia to read our first number.
Alan Silvestri composed the iconic theme for Forrest Gump in 1994, crafting a musical voice as reflective as the character himself. The gentle melody you are about to hear, often called the feathered theme, mirrors the film's emotional arc floating between innocence, sorrow, and hope. Silvestri's intent was to support the story with music that felt honest and unaffected, much like Forrest's simple and straightforward view of the world. Enjoy the Forrest Gump main theme.
Premiering in 1986, Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera quickly became one of the most successful musicals of all time. Inspired by the classic French novel, Webber set out to blend the grandeur of the 19th century opera with the emotional immediacy of modern musical theater. The result is a score rich in drama, romance, and mystery. Listen for the powerful pounding melody. It embodies the Phantom psychologically and physically throughout the musical. It represents his presence, power, mystery, and allure. Enjoy The Phantom of the Opera.
Written in 1991, Beauty and the Beast marked the golden era for Disney animation and helped bring Broadway-level musical storytelling to the big screen. Composer Alan Menken, alongside lyricist Howard Ashman, created a title theme that's become one of the most iconic love songs in film history. Originally sung in the film by Angela Lansbury, the melody is tender and captures the quiet transformation of two unlikely companions. Listen for the gentle rise and fall of the melody. It mirrors the way Belle and the Beast slowly let their guard down and fall in love. Enjoy the theme from Beauty and the Beast featuring Mary on the harp, Eric on the piano, and Lily as conductor.
Composed in 1889, Sleeping Beauty is one of Tchaikovsky's most celebrated ballets, and the waltz that accompanies Princess Aurora's 16th birthday has been one of the most famous classical dance themes in the world. Tchaikovsky's completed the entire ballet in under a year and premiered at the Mariinsky Theater in St. Petersburg in 1890. In the story, Princess Aurora is cursed by the wicked fairy Carabus to fall into a deep sleep after prickling her finger on a spindle. The kind lilac fairy softens the curse. Aurora will sleep until awakened by true love's kiss. After 100 years, a prince defeats Carabus and awakens Aurora, and the tale ends in a grand royal wedding where this waltz is played. Enjoy the waltz from the Sleeping Beauty conducted by Lily Knopf.
as part of his landmark collection, L'Estro Armonico, published in 1711. This set of 12 concertos helped redefine the form and spread Vivaldi's reputation across Europe. Johann Sebastian Bach was so impressed, he transcribed this very piece for the keyboard. Originally written for 4 solo violins and string orchestra, this concerto is a vivid display of Baroque energy and Vivaldi at his most creative. Enjoy Armonico by Vivaldi, performed without a conductor.
Composed in 2003, the Pirates of the Caribbean theme launched a new era of swashbuckling adventure in film scoring. The main score was composed by Klaus Badelt, and it became instantly iconic. The music perfectly matches the spirit of the bold, funny, slightly offbeat, and unpredictable Captain Jack Sparrow. Enjoy the many famous melodies from Pirates of the Caribbean.
At this point in our program, I would like to have you please help me welcome to our stage the North Palm Beach Vice Mayor, Lisa Interlandi, to speak about charitable giving and fundraising for our organization.
Thank you guys so much. Victor, that was absolutely incredible, and you students are amazing. I think everyone here has to have enjoyed that as much as I have. So I just wanted to, give you guys the opportunity, tell you a little bit about this organization, and let you know about the amazing things that they're doing here in North Palm Beach, and let you have a little bit more information so that you can try to support this organization. So we all know this is not just a music group. This is a group that is providing a world-class music education to these students, helping over 110 families here in North Palm Beach and looking to grow their organization. They offer scholarships and instruments to students who are not able to afford them so that all students can participate regardless of means. They are obviously creating so many leadership and opportunities, mentorship opportunities for these students. You can see that here as they're performing today. And performing throughout the year at so many community events in North Palm Beach, the tree lighting ceremony, and so many others that we get to see them and enjoy this amazing, amazing organization. And also bringing the music to the seniors at the Morse Life and other places, that is so amazing, and I know that they must really enjoy that. So how can we help? I know that I'm not the only one who wants to help them be successful. So one of the best ways, obviously, is making a donation to the organization. There's information on the back of y'all's forms that you can take a look at and take a look at how to support the organization today. Obviously, the other thing that is just incredibly helpful is to spread the word. Spread the word about this incredible organization to the others and the individuals and groups that are patrons of the arts and that support music in our communities. Because that is what this group needs. While we have amazing leadership and obviously amazing instruction here for this group today, they need additional resources to help grow and fulfill their complete vision. So what is their complete vision? Well, it involves growing into a full symphony orchestra, hiring skilled musical educators in winds and percussion, securing a larger permanent rehearsal space, and building the infrastructure to support this growing program. So please, everyone, join me in supporting this organization. I think that we are so blessed to have them in our community. Couldn't be prouder that you guys are here, and we thank you guys so much. So please support this organization. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for your very kind words. Are you guys enjoying the program so far? Awesome. Right now, we have reached a very important moment in our program. I would like to have you help me recognize 10 seniors that are graduating this year. And I'm going to call them by name, and I would like for you to please help me recognize all of them for their amazing contribution to this organization. As I call your name, please rise, and then we'll recognize you. Aiden McManus. With us, and join me in wishing them the very, very best as they embark on their next chapter. But we have a very special announcement to share. Each of you will be receiving, hold it for me, each of you will be receiving a $400 scholarship from the North Palm Youth Symphony. So that we can play a small part in helping you launch your next chapter. This scholarship is possible thanks to the generosity and the contribution of the Waltz Charitable Foundation, Artistry Pavers, the North Palm Youth Symphony, the Goodson family, and the Bell family. So please, one more round of applause. Done, stay on stage as we will take a photo with all of our donors. Please have a seat. Thank you, guys. So one more thing to say before we play our last number. there's a number of organizations and individuals I'd like to recognize. Let me call the entire list and then let's recognize them with one round of applause when I finish the list. Current Mayor of North Palm Beach, Debbie Searcy, Vice Mayor Lisa Interlandi, who you just met a moment ago, President Pro Tem Chris Garrison, City of North Palm Beach Council members Orlando Puyol and Susan Bickle, Village Manager Chuck Huff, Director of Recreation Ashley Chipman, Mr. Bill Egan, and Beth Davis at the North Palm Beach Country Club, Caitlin Bradley, Tiffany Mata, Peter Gacci, and the Lessing Group. We are very grateful for the support we have from the Village and from the Country Club. To board members, Ms. Susan Bickle, Mr. Trevor Drusho, who you saw opening our program tonight, Caitlin Springer and Heather Fernandez, and our bookkeeper, Kevin Cito. To my colleagues and friends, Douglas Ferreira and Jeff Schifrin, and to the families, thank you for sharing your wonderful musicians and giving me the opportunity to teach them. Finally, for our final selection, we have one more narrator to help us introduce the final number. And please, seniors, when we're done, remain on the stage and we'll take a photo together. So thank you so much for coming out. It's been really a pleasure to be able to share the very hard work that they have put in over the entire course of this year to share that with you. I'm also excited that for the very first time, we are recording this concert with a quality camera and audio, and we'll put this on our YouTube channel so that we can forever capture this moment because it's really important, and we'll make this definitely a thing moving forward. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to listen to these wonderful musicians and for sharing this very special hour all together. Thank you again.
Composed in 1847, Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2 is one of Franz Liszt's most recognizable works. Inspired by the Hungarian folk music Liszt heard growing up, the piece blends deep national pride with dazzling virtuosity. Originally written for solo piano, it quickly became so popular that Liszt himself arranged it for orchestra. The Rhapsody is structured in two contrasting sections, the slow, brooding part called Lausanne, and the fast and fiery part called Frisco. Liszt intended it not to showcase musical nationalism, but also to dazzle audiences with drama and technical brilliance. The music is incredibly difficult to play. We hope you enjoy Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2.
coming out tonight. Have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you at our next rehearsal and our next concert. Find us on social media, Facebook or Instagram, North Palm Youth Symphony. We are here, and we're not going anywhere. You have a wonderful night.